Alright, boys. So, some time ago, Maroka here got a little email from Combat Wombat Studios saying, hello, Tulkas and crew, would you like to play our game? Now, that was kind of funny, because I'm very much not the button mash individual. I am the junior partner in our great coalition. Obviously, that's a pretty small mistake to make. You know, you have your social media guy scouring the dregs of YouTube, and he, makes one mistake. It's no big deal. But Homeboy asked for Tulkas to review his game, and Tulkas is going to review his game. So, look out, world. Conqueror 940 AD is a game of which I have two disclaimers. Number one is that a free copy of the game was provided in exchange for a review. However, because the game is provided to Maroka, and I am, once again, not Maroka, I am playing this on a version of the game that I purchased outright. Number two, it is a early access title. However, the mere words early access, they are not a panacea to shield the game from all criticism. It's currently being sold for $15. So either it is worth $15 now, or there is a promise that it will be worth $15 at some point in the future. So, do we think that will come to be? Let us see. First of all, let's do a new game. Just blah 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 blah. Okay, I just want to see this intro. So, Penalia, the prosperous kingdom ruled by a wise king. The king grew old and died. The firstborn became king, and all sovereign brothers swore fealty. The new king, Mendival, it's kind of like evil, grew paranoid and worried about his brothers wanting power. The princess soon had unexplained fatal accidents. Go. Yes. Look. Why the poison soup? Is that a thing poison does? Does poison make you bleed? Does being boiled alive make you bleed? What even is that? Well, that homeboy there got the Robert Baratheon treatment. Anyway, the youngest saw through the accidents and fled, and that's us! He became a guard for a caravan to get away from Penalia. Crossing sweltering heat. The bitter cold. Slow pan to the cold and storming weather. Far away, he found unclaimed land next to his uncle to start anew and build a new kingdom. Conqueror 940 AD. So, that's nice. I want out. I want to be free. I want to be freed. I want to be freed. Free me. No, okay. So that's something of an interesting hook, to start the story. Because this is very early on in development. You aren't looking for like a well thought out tapestry. You're looking for the concept. If the concept is good, then you can fill in the fluff. If the concept is bad, then you have the makings of a bad product. And that's an interesting kind of hook. It would be easy to just say, oh, you're starting your kingdom. Or, oh, you're the younger brother, out on adventure. But you have this interesting sort of idea where your older brother becomes king, and he doesn't exile you, he doesn't send you out. He just, all your other brothers just start dying, like the Ottomans. The Ottomans used to do that. So then, there's sort of the idea of intrigue there, the idea of you don't really know what's going on, like you have the idea that your brother is responsible, but you're not sure, like, maybe the threats will come to you from the shadows, and there's all sorts of, like, it's an interesting theme, and it's sort of unique take on what is, sort of a very basic intro. So I like that. So, homeboy here, in Conqueror 940 AD, I've been doing this, a few hours, and as you can see, it looks a bit like a Facebook game, which is not great, but there are, more important things in life than graphics. So this is me We'll start with this. There are petitioners who are waiting on your pleasure. Are you ready to hold court? So welcome to the tavern, Majesty. One of my confidants from Strenstall is over there. Be a dear and go talk to her for me. It would be good for me to introduce you to at least some of my contacts anyhow. Ah, sure, I'm a good boy. Ooh, they're having a plague. And we got stealth. So you get those every few turns, a little dilemma. And that gives you little skill points, like you have here. So this is our big dashboard page. This is where all the magic happens. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things you can do, and you can only do 3 of them at a time. And the manpower meter here shows what you can do. So look, up to 3. So let's see. First of all, we have building. Obviously, you get buildings. The buildings help you. Like, you know, we have our you can reduce raid losses. You can get food. What I will say is that it can take a bit long to do. Like it's a bit of time to do stuff. But we'll work on a bakery. Like, you know, 25 days, 18 days, 10 days. You know, could this, like, these could be scaled down. This could be like, you know, 5 days to build an armory. Like, but we'll get to the pacing in a moment. Then we have skills. Skills help you do stuff. You know, you get little checks. You have research. You know, you can either research yourself. You can research buildings. It is what it is. And then social, we'll get to that. Trade. I think the trade mechanic works quite well. So we have all these different kingdoms that we have met. You know, we can export, we can import all these items. They change based on kingdoms. You know, if I buy a lot of food now, then it might be more expensive in the future. If I export a lot, it will lower prices, and they each have different prices depending on the characteristics of that nation. That's pretty cool. You know, I think the trade here works well. You have crafting, where you trade for stuff, and then you use that stuff to craft armor and things. Then we have social here. This is sort of the big deal of the game. So there are a lot of things we're doing socially. We have battle, we have emissary, we have dating, and we have subterfuge. So emissary is here. You just try to be buddy with people like you. So this is the uncle character. Over living in Hugh, and the story with him is that he was the younger brother to the old king, our father, and he saw that our father was going to be a bad king. So he got exiled, but it turned out that our father ended up being a good king. So now the uncle's just sort of here, sort of watching our back, but sort of not. Like, that's another interesting story idea, you know, like, the uncle, he's kind of disloyal, but he's kind of on our side. You know, there's some gray areas, you know, there's not a lot written, it's just a few snippets of text, but there's at least something there that's interesting. And then, you know, after you learn about all of these other kingdoms, I imagine you get similar little snippets of text, which is pretty cool. And then you have the ladies here. We have Thorval of Hugh, the uncle's daughter, I think. And if you look, you will see, keep an eye on how full this heart is. We'll get back to that. So we are seducing Thorval right there. And that is about it for now. End turn. Thorval enjoyed our time together. Now if you look, it went up a bit. And this is where we get to my main problem with the game, namely its pacing. It's a bit slow. Like, you see, so it took me 4 turns to do that, and it moved from like here to like here, and then Thorval doing this is competing not only with all of the other ladies I could find, but also with all of the other kingdoms I could try to get buddy with, and with all the subterfuge I could do, and with all the battling I could do, and with the 5 other things that I could potentially be doing instead of this. You know, it's a bit... The pacing is a bit slow, you know, it's taken me a while just to get Hugh on my side, and, you know, there's like, I want to meet all of these nations and find out what's up with them, but I can't really do it because it takes, 20 turns to get halfway, to get a heart, and, I want to explore this mechanic. So the pacing just feels a bit off, it takes a bit too long to build stuff. Like, the dilemmas, you only get, like, 1 point at a time. Obviously this is, early access, and they're expecting to add more content later to, pad it out a bit, but still it feels like it takes too long to do stuff. Like, there will be turns when I just have nothing to do, but I'm just researching stuff and just end turn. And that's sort of the big takeaway I would say for the developers, is that every turn we should be able to have some impactful decision to make regarding the game. Like, we should be able to make some decision. We should have interesting decisions. Maybe in this dilemma thing, it's more just like you make a decision and that impacts what point you get in a skill. Maybe, it impacts the kingdom as a whole. Maybe it impacts relations. Maybe just sort of try to keep like, less can be more, less time just sort of sat here, more decisions, because you have to imagine how long you want your game to last to make sure that you have the appropriate amount of content there. Obviously, still early access, etc., etc., etc. But I feel like a lot of the time, like, you could just make it, okay, I'm gonna be Hugh, this only needs to take 1 turn, Like, okay, I've upped Hugh a bit. And then like, every turn you're, working on someone, and at least you have that. And it's not letting me battle. Well, so I was thinking it might be fun to try to figure this out on the fly. So this is our kingdom, and these are all of these other nations, such as there are. So this is basically all there is to the game. There's a small recruiting mechanic. I have 36 stone throwers. You need to get the stone ammo, you need to get the slings, you need to recruit the... Yeah, there you go. You can recruit the boys. That's basically the game. So now we're going to invade someone. And I have not invaded anyone so far. So we have a military power of 48. And so I have a feeling that if we invade someone, we're going to have issues. Okay. We must first select a battle. No. Okay, apparently... Okay, I'll get back to you. This is pretty much what I was saying about the, So I just clicked end turn, like, for 4 times, and then it was done. Like, I had to click this button 4 times. I should have only needed to click it once. Like, just take the time that it takes to do stuff, Like, this game, it feels to me a bit like one of those, freemium mobile games where, like, oh, you need to research something and it will take 26 days, but for the low, low price of $5, you can make it take 1 day. It feels a bit like, like a free-to-play game where they're trying to gate the content behind a time barrier to encourage you to spend money, except there isn't any money to spend. It just sort of makes you wait. Again, early access, I'm sure there's more content coming, but that's sort of my main critique. So let me see if I can now do you. Can I battle? Yes, I can battle. So now, I will invade the people of Florentia. The battle hasn't started yet. Oh, okay. How do I battle? Yeah, I'm aware that the battle hasn't started yet. That's why I'm wanting to invade, to make the battle start. Okay, so... Preparing... Oh, okay, so we're preparing for war. That's cool, that's cool. The petitioners, there's a townsperson there. I'm going to seduce them. I love seduce... Ooh, the young merchant woman. Oh! Okay, that was, Okay. Anyway, I will begin reading them. Okay, cool. It's a simple enough mechanic. I feel like there could be more to the decisions made there, but I got to seduce someone, so really, I'm happy. So, so now we're just waiting. See, we're just sitting here. I guess there is other stuff I could be doing, but you know, like I could be building something right now, but it's mostly just sitting here, just clicking this button. Bandits are yes. Recruits in the front, veterans in the back. Archers, make it rain! Go behind the lines! Okay. I guess that's the battle mechanic for you. I went seeking battle, but it would appear the battle found me. So, I imagine that's basically what we're going to expect. You know, there's some other things that see here, but it's mostly just everything that you see here. So, it's a pretty simple game, but it's okay. So, the idea that I posited at the beginning here was, is the game worth $15 now? No. Is it possible that the game will be worth $15 in the future? Maybe. You know, I could see this being a game like Rogue State 1, the original, where it's just, you know, you have basic mechanics, but, you know, a sort of interesting world, a sort of an interesting story, just, you know, like, I really do enjoy this trade mechanic. I enjoy, you know, I think that the story is obviously extremely bare bones, but I think that there's enough there that it could be worked into something interesting, and then, you know, you have a good game. You can choose. I like this mechanic where where you can choose 3 out of 6 things. You know, it's sort of limiting you. You have to choose what to value, you know, what is important, what to prioritize. I think that's interesting. I think that there is a degree of promise here. I think that it's somewhat unlikely that the game will live up to that promise, but I think that it could. So I'm going to keep my eye, see if it does well, and, you know, maybe something will come off it. So this has been the Tulkas review. Let me know what you think about it. Obviously, it was not nearly as polished or effusive or politically woke as Mr. Maroka would have said, but you know, if homeboys want Tulkas is what they get. Thank you all so very much for watching. I've been Tulkas. I will see you next time. Bye everyone, bye!